In this video, you're going to learn how to get the outside evidence point for the AP US History DBQ question. And to help, we brought in AP US History experts Chris Averill and Paul Faeh. And the experts are going to really help you understand what you have to do to get that outside evidence point and what not to do. So keep watching.
The third point of evidence beyond the documents, some might be referred to as outside evidence. So you're looking for, and what they're looking for, do you have any historical evidence about this topic that you know on your own, without the documents giving you that information?
One of the common mistakes that students make using outside evidence is they're too vague. They might say something like, the colonists were angry over taxes, such as the stamp tax. That's not going to get the point because it's not connected to advancing a larger argument as to principles involved, the trend or development. How that piece of outside evidence advances the argument is the key to getting the point. So a student then would have to say the Stamp Act of 1765 was in fact a tax that taxed them internally. And this is what really ticked off the colonists, was because they believed that they had the right to tax themselves internally. So it develops the piece of evidence to connect to a larger argument, not simply stating a specific piece of evidence. Students have a tough time differentiating between, should I use just proper nouns and start from there, like the Stamp Act, and go deductively as to how that connects, and that's perfectly fine. Or a student could go inductively and come with the concept of taxation for purposes of outside evidence and discuss the difference in the concept of internal versus external. That is more of a principled approach to a piece of outside evidence. It doesn't have to be a specific proper noun, but it tends to be. But most importantly, it needs to advance the argument and be connected, whether it's a trend or development or a specific piece of factual information. One of the things that's very important for students to understand is that they cannot double dip. So the readers at the reading, when they bump into something outside of the documents, like a trend, development, or piece of specific factual information, they are asking themselves, is this elaborate enough to qualify as a piece of outside evidence or as a contextualization statement? And the elaboration then can be as simple as a single sentence or two sentences or three sentences. But as long as the thought continues, the reader is in fact treating that as that point. They are not separating out, oh, that's the contextualization sentence and a half, and then here's the outside evidence to prove that contextualization. And so it gets the point for the sentence and a half and a point. They're two distinct points. So as soon as the element is brought up that's a contextualization element, what flows after that is all connected to it. And the evidence that supports that contextualization statement is all considered contextualization. As a grader, good characteristics of outside evidence would be a clear delineation of a piece of information outside the documents. It can be a proper noun, it could be a trend, development, principle, idea, but it also explains how that connects to and supports the larger thesis or argument. It's very clear. It tends to not be a vague description, and it is well connected to an argument.